Hello friends, isn't that glorious music? Will you believe me if I said that it was written some 285 years ago, in 1738, by an English composer called G.F Handel. Handel was born in Germany but lived most of his life in England and wrote much music for the church, for royalty, and for other events and purposes. A lot of chamber music as well. This particular piece is a chorus from his oratorio Saul. Now what I want to talk to you today about is a performance that I went to in Freiburg, Germany when I was there in June. I went for the concert together with my dear friend Franz Nagel, and it was a performance of the oratorio Saul by Handel. The performers were the Freiburg Chamber Choir and the Freiburg Chamber Orchestra, conducted by a young but I think a brilliant conductor by the name of Lukas Grimm. And I want to share with you some video footage that I took of the orchestra as it came together to begin the performance. So let me take you through those video clips. I will introduce to you this orchestra, which is very importantly made up of all period instruments. Period instruments are instruments that are either from the time of Handel or modeled and built around instruments from that period. So they are really Baroque instruments, and they're very different in sound, they're very different in the way you play them from the modern instruments that we hear. And so to hear that oratorio come alive in the way that Handel would have heard it was for me a great and exhilarating experience. So let me take you through these video clips now. This beautiful performance took place at the Holy Trinity Church in Waldsee, Freiburg. And with me was Franz Nagel, my friend, and there I am, also in the church waiting for the performance. And one by one you see the instruments coming in. This is a theorbo lute, one might say the ancestor of the guitar. They formed very much part of what is called the basso continuo. Here you see the instrumentalist tuning up the many strings of that instrument with the harpsichord. Here you see the cellos, very different to modern cello, because you see that these Baroque cellos do not have pegs to hold them up as modern cellos do. And you also see here the organ. So here you see the what's called the basso continuo, the bass of the whole orchestra coming together. Here are the Baroque flutes, very different to modern flutes. And you can see the orchestra now slowly beginning to take their seats, the string players coming in, and there you see the oboes, the Baroque oboes, who have taken their seats as well. And here on the side you see a carillon played here on a glockenspiel. Handel writes for church bells, but it was on that day played on a glockenspiel. Here are the Baroque oboes, very different to the modern oboe which you see on top in that picture. And at the back you can see the brass taking their seats, the trumpets, the Baroque trumpets, very different to modern valve trumpets, and the trombones. They were called sackbuts at that time, very different to modern instruments again. Now I think many of us have heard the story of David and Goliath, David the little shepherd boy, who kills this giant Philistine soldier called Goliath with a little sling. The oratorio by Handel is about the king who reigned at the time that David won this great victory for Israel and therefore wins the war for Israel against the Philistines. Saul was at the beginning very pleased with David, but later he becomes very jealous of David and tries to kill him, tries to get his son to kill David, and in the end his jealousy becomes so much that he goes mad, he kills his own son and eventually gets himself killed as well. So there's a lot of drama in this. There are witches who come as apparitions to Saul and so on as part of this drama from the Bible. And Handel takes this drama and writes the music with choir and soloists to bring the story to life. Of course, I could not record the performance itself because it is contrary to copyright, but at the end, as the soloists and the choir and the orchestra and the conductor come in to take a well-deserved bow, I was able to do a video recording of that as well. So Here now to take their bows are the soloists, those who played the role of King Saul, of David, of Saul's son and his two daughters. There's the conductor on the extreme right-hand side, now introducing the soloists again, but soon to introduce some members of the choir who played minor roles in the drama. There you go, that's another singer who played another minor role, and I believe it was a young lady who sang really well, but played also a minor role in the drama, a member of the choir. And here you see I believe a member of the choir again who played the role of the witch, and there he is. A well-deserved ovation, a well-deserved applause for this wonderful performance, totally enjoyable. And here comes the choir now. You see the basses and the tenors coming in first, and then on the right-hand side you see the women, the sopranos and the contraltos. And now the conductor is acknowledging the choir. There they go. And now you see the conductor actually calling upon the members of the orchestra who played an important role, the first violinist or the concertmaster. And now he's calling upon the two cellists together with the organist and the theobolutinist and the double bass and the harpsichordist who form the basso continuo to take their bow, and now of course the rest of the orchestra. What a wonderful performance. What a wonderful performance.